Ooh, 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 ladies, gentlemen, gamers, and fellow Genshin Impact lovers and haters. And I think there's no better apt time to say lovers and haters than this video. I haven't done one of these videos in a while because I got such great reception on the first one. But essentially, this is going to be another critique, I feel like on deaf ears, of Genshin Impact. So, this all started when I made my first big hit about how the new daily system, and I say new quote unquote, but the daily system, they basically changed it to where we can get I forgot what they're called exactly, and it's funny because I have Genshin open right now. So I'm just gonna look in the background here real quick. People, let's shut up. We have encounter points, and we can actually show that right here. So we have encounter points right here, and I kind of criticized this system comparing it to other games like Star Rail and even more recently Zenless, and I showed how it's just vastly not superior. It's vastly worse than what is already out there in their other games. We're not even talking about like other games from other developers, because the biggest thing that's fighting with Genshin right now is Wuthering Waves, and we might talk about that a little bit, but we have kind of a lot to go through in this video, so I can go on, and I usually do on my stream live, Twitch TV/Tecnics channel, on how Genshin is basically so much worse than the other games on the market. And a lot of the Genshin suckers, the Genshin hypnotized freaks out there really disagree with me. And I think that's either A, because they're delusional, B, as we've come to find out in the community, a lot of content creators basically have very restrictive contracts where Hoyo basically A, restricts them from playing other fun games like Wuthering, believe it or not, and two, they're basically forced to play the game even though they have no passion for it because it's a money generator. And it's odd that it's a money generator because in a lot of ways it's so much more worse, except in the main way of I think it heavily appeals to casuals in certain ways that really just matter to casuals and don't matter to actual gamers, which is sad. But there's a whole bunch of things that Genshin just flat out does worse. The banner system, worse. And that's one of the main things we're going to get into here, but the banner system is worse. The resin system is terrible. The movement system, you can't really compare it to Zenless and Star Rail because those games aren't really about open world exploration, but you can compare it to Wuthering. And this game definitely feels dated. And the biggest thing I really feel like is happening with Genshin is A, the developers don't give a fuck about the things for actual gamers. They just care about stuff for casuals, which is pretty much enough to get by for the most part. And B, I think it's just really the fact that I really just think they don't care. Like it's so sad, man. I think Genshin is just so outdated and it just refuses for some odd reason to get with the times. And the worst part is it copies its other sister games like Star Rail, like Zenless, but it does it in absolutely horrible ways that are just sometimes outright worse. And one of the biggest examples of that I can clearly show that happened recently, and I made a video about it, but it didn't get as much traction as they usually do. It's basically about this, as Nouvelette keeps talking our ear off in the background. This right here, once I get it up here, right here, this item, the Sanctifying Elixir. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who might not play Hoyo's other games, which are just straight out better in certain ways, right? If you're looking for open world exploration, go ahead, stay on Genshin. But if you're looking for actual other good games with good, I would argue even sometimes better gameplay, and just better systems in general that respect your time, especially in Genshin, because now that what I'm about to show got people angry, people are questioning a lot more things, and it's a lot more people than usual, which is good, right? There's basically been a war going on where it's like content creators who are paid, who again aren't really allowed to play other games publicly, and they have to kind of like fake their excitement and they have to just play Genshin even though they don't like it because they're shills and they like money. Despite all of that existing, there's actual stuff out there that's better, and this is one of the examples, right? So Sanctifying Elixir, this is basically to make an artifact that's guided. You can control the main stat and the substat from what I remember. Now, I haven't used these, and I have about 5 of them because I've been grinding them ever since. Now, one of the biggest major things is this has been in the other Hoyo games, and I'm not going to go over this too much more because I already made an entire video dedicated to this, but this is one example where this is in their other games and it's better. To create the artifact you probably need, which is most likely going to be the sands, it costs 5 of these. And I believe you get 1 if you don't pay. You get one per battle pass. So it's going to take you 5 free battle passes of grinding to make one good artifact that you might want, and even then the substats might get fucked, which they probably will, considering how luck works, and then you basically wasted your time at a very bare shot at any sort of luck. In the other games, it only costs one for any single one of them. And this is just another example of how Genshin sometimes just straight up copies its other games which do it better. One of the other main issues that's coming up too that people are noticing is the fact that you can only grind for certain character stuff on certain days. Why is it like this? I'll tell you why. The person who made Honkai Impact 3rd, the predecessor to Genshin Impact, was the guy they helped bring over to Genshin Impact, and guess what? That guy ruined Impact 3rd, and then he ruined Genshin, and now I believe he's still in Genshin, but who knows? I don't know if this is still even accurate to this day, but this is what happened in the past. A guy was on Impact 3rd, it wasn't that good. They moved him to Genshin because Genshin was their new project, and someone new took the reins of Impact 3rd. This new guy who took the reins of Impact 3rd made it a lot better, modernized it, made it very similar to the other gotchas that Hoyo has, like Zenless and Star Rail, and basically it turned good. And guess what? They moved that guy, and they put him on Star Rail when that was being made, and it's no wonder Star Rail is good. Now, Zenless, I don't really know who's in charge of that, but whoever it is, it's not the person in charge of Genshin because that shit's actually good. We actually have a resin reserve system. Tell me how this makes sense. You can only grind for certain character materials, either for weapons or for the actual character, for their skills, whatever it might be, on certain days, but there's no backup reserve resin system like there is in all of their other games. It makes no sense because Genshin has been here for almost the longest, barring Impact 3rd. It's like Genshin seems to love copying things, like I showed with the Sanctifying Elixir, which in the other games is the directed artifact making, artifact creation. But the other games have it so much better. Genshin has it so much worse, and this is the constant thing. Either Genshin paves the way with it being worse and the other games improve on it, or the other games get something before Genshin, and then Genshin copies it and just has it just not as good. And it's so strange to me, and there's so many examples of this, of how Genshin is just shit. And this is one of the big things. This has nothing to do with like copy. Well, it actually does have something to do with copying now that I think about it. The new Genshin stuff that's happening is basically kind of copying Zenless Zone Zero. Vastly superior game, by the way. So this is where, and I've said this in my reaction videos as well for the characters coming out, and this is kind of a big slap in the face. This is partly what they're doing with the rewards here. A slap in the face, slash it's kind of just unlucky with where it landed because this is just dates. From my knowledge, it's the dates of this is always when it was going to come out, but they could have done something here, and instead they were basically money grubbing and greedy as they are with the Sanctifying Elixir, because to get more you have to buy the Battle Pass. For this, they're basically forcing people to basically get addicted to FOMO or really suffer from FOMO, and if you want Silali and Malvika, good luck. So the main issue is, right, the first main issue is both Silali and Malvika's banners are running at the exact same time. It starts on the 5.3 update, which is New Year's Day, and it goes till the 21st. Same as Silali here. Malvika and Silali share it. This is the first time they do this. And why did they do this? Zenless did this. And when people saw Zenless did this, you know how they did it? They put 2 characters on banner. One of them we got for free. They're both 5-star. One of them is the best character in the game, too, Miyabi. But regardless, they put both characters on banner, but they made their banners last double. So instead of one character's banner lasting half the patch for the first half, and then putting the second character out for the second half, they put both of them at the same time and made them last double as long. So basically you have both characters available for the whole patch, double as long. So that gives you more options to grind for them, it gives you more time. It's basically better in almost all senses of the word for the consumer. Genshin decided, hey, why don't we copy their homework but make it look like we don't try and then shit on it, because that's what they did. What did they do? Malvika and Silali are running at the same time, and once Zenless changed their banner, they were asking the Genshin devs, oh my god, are you going to change Genshin's banner? Like, this is so good for us, are you going to do this? Surprise, surprise, they said no, but they left the part out, they omitted the part out where now it's actively worse. Think about it like this. Now you have half the patch to either try and grind for both Malvika and Silali at the same time, but then you also have to try and get their weapons on the weapon banner, which they did make the weapon banner better, because for a long time it was even worse than all the other games, and it's still not as good, but it's better than it was. But it's still not good. But now you have two weapon banners. You have Silali's and Malvika's. So good luck trying to get your wanted weapon. I mean, hopefully you'll get lucky, but still. This is where a free-to-play's nightmare is here. This is where I really feel like they're trying to milk Genshin for all it's fucking worth. And you know what the slap in the face is? If they just fully copied Zenless, it would have been perfect. Why? Because all these rewards, and we get a free, like, stupid, like, Xbox-themed wing. These look like Sumeru wings, and they do look nice, but this isn't, this shouldn't distract us from the main problem of this. We get a free 10 shot, and then another free 10 shot for the Lunar New Year. But what is the problem with this? When is this exactly? And we also get a sanctifying elixir, so whoop-de-doo free-to-plays, you get one extra. Whoopee, right? The main problem is, when does this start? This starts the literal day after, if you could see right here, and I could try and zoom in on it here. This starts the day after on the 22nd of January. Basically, when Malvika and Silali's banners end. So if you wanted the new characters, if you were hoping to get a boon, this ain't it, Chief. It is so blatant, right? There's so many things in this game that are so blatant. One of the few good things, though, I will give Genshin, is you could do all the weeklies. The first three are half, but you could do all of them. In the other games, the weeklies are done different. Zenless has the best weeklies. Star Rail actually fails on this account, and I wish they would fix it, but I actually believe they will eventually, because that's how Star Rail does it, Genshin doesn't. But just think about this. Genshin is putting out both these characters, and if they made the banner the same way Zenless did, because they basically copied Zenless, they're like, hey, let's put both of them at the same time for some reason. They've never done this, they're doing it now. Who knows why? Maybe to get, again, more money out of people. But if they just made it last the whole patch, it would have been easier, and we would have gotten the 20 shot. It's like, it's almost like they want to cuck us, and it's insane and it's infuriating. But for me, it's not, because I'm a Genshin hater, like I say in the beginning. Because I give it both options, right? I know there's Genshin glazers, but there's Genshin haters like me, too. Sadly, I'm still addicted, but hopefully after Shinaz Naya, I'll drop out. But regardless, this is just one of the many examples of, it's like, the game is just so bad. And again, the people who defend this shit, it's almost indefensible unless A, you're paid, B, you're hypnotized, or C, you just haven't tried their other games and you've seen what is better out there. Even at the end of the day with the late game modes, right? Zenless just got its second late game mode. Now, granted, that has its own issues too. It doesn't give as many rewards. But Genshin took how long to get it? Genshin is just sadly, and I've gone over this in all my other videos too, it's just sadly all about the casuals. They really don't care, and they don't have to care either because the casuals keep giving them money. So it's really a self-fulfilling process, sadly. But it's just, this is so stupid, man. And now the community is up in flames where the content creators again are fighting because there's the shill ones and then there's the real ones calling this shit out, and then the fans are fucking delusional, and it's just a whole bunch of shit, man. It is some crazy ass shit. But I thought I'd hop on the bandwagon, get some free views as well. But this is just absolutely, oh my bad, I didn't mean to click that. This is just absolutely horrible. Where it's like, this is what they're doing, and to add insult to injury, look at what's right after, right? And I believe this is on the last day. Yeah, this is on the last day of Malvika and Silali's banner. You have the Chronicled Wish, which number one, they had to revise the rules for because they realized they're never rerunning Shenhe. They want to shove her on there because it's leeway people. But she didn't technically fit because they're really dumb rule set. So now they said basically fuck the rules, we're just doing it how we want it, which is fine, right? It's better for people who want Shenhe. But just imagine, at least you have the 20 shop for this now, for the Chronicled Wish, but this is another thing to roll for. And right after Silali and Malvika, I believe it is Arlecchino and Clarin, which are both pretty decent characters too. Obviously Arlecchino is mommy, but this is like what we're looking forward to in the new patch, right? Basically just ways for them to make money. And obviously we have our stupid little mini games, which we always get anyway, but nothing really crazy, right? We have the new story coming out, which is fine, but it's just like, man, Genshin really just barely gives its people anything, and it has like die-hard supporters, and I don't understand it, and it's so bad in so many different ways. I usually say a lot more of them on Twitch TV/Tecnics channel, but it's like the gameplay updates are non-existent that actually help like the game systems, especially the resin system, the banner system, and especially the movement system. I think that is the hardest one to change, but they really should, because again, playing something like Wuthering and coming back to this feels like absolute crap. But what are they advertising to us? Hey, you have a new Hu Tao outfit you need to buy, and you also need to have Hu Tao. Great. Chronicled Wish, you can get all these old characters, most of which are kind of ass, right? Who the fuck wants Chi-Chi number one? People, I think, like Child. Zhao is still pretty good. Ganyu is good, but she's basically power crept. Kaching is terrible. Shenhe is like a rare relic, and then Baiju is actually pretty good. So this Chronicled Wish banner isn't bad, but again, who is this really for? It's for people who spend money and people who don't want to spend money but feel bad about missing their character, aka FOMO. So not only do you have to juggle between Sitlali and Malvika before they give you the 20 shot, which again could have been rectified if they just extended the banner for the full patch, but for some reason they're not, and they're making it even worse. It's the fact that they're making it worse that really bugs me. And again, thankfully people are finally catching on. I thought I would obviously add my 2 cents in, but a lot of these weapons could be good too. The weapons are honestly, I think, more worth than the characters at this point, just because we're about to get eventually Shinaz Naya in there. It's gonna have like all better characters. I feel like these old characters, even though they are good, and if you do love, like them, get who you want. But I think this is like a big bait unless you really have like your waifu or I guess your husbando in here. But regardless, it's just nonstop. The Genshin Hoyo devs just fuck the fans. Some of the fans seem to like it. Some of the fans attack other fans like me for calling it out. Because at the end of the day, the main thing I want is for this game to get better and for the game to be at least on the level of the other games made by the same fucking creator. Again, different teams, which is fine, but I just don't understand how Genshin can keep getting away with this, man. It's so bad. And then the devs come out and be like, oh, I don't understand why you guys hate on Genshin. We're players too. We want the game to be good. If you want it to be good, do what your other games are doing. It's so stupid. It's literally so stupid. It's infuriating. It's backwards logic. It's dumb. It's moronic. It is just every word in the book that's negative. Nonsensical, ridiculous, poppycock. Jesus Lord. But either way, that's basically going to be the video. Just a little rant, and again, me hopping on the bandwagon, kind of putting my 2 cents in. But the Chronicled Wish, again, there's so many things here that are bad for just free to play players. And then in other games like Zenless, they're literally throwing like premium currency at you. It feels so different, like playing the other games, and it feels so much better. And Genshin feels like shit. I hope at the end of the day they either fix their shit, which they're probably not going to do, because like I said, the casuals or the whales are really just like allowing this to keep happening. And if nothing changes, aka if their wallets aren't hurt, they're not going to change anything. So hopefully either Wuthering really just starts beating the shit out of this, or I don't know, the devs go through an epiphany or the fans go through an epiphany and something changes. But yeah, a bunch of ways Genshin is just worse than the other games. This whole thing with the wishes is just a slap in the face as usual, and I thought I'd cover it. But either way, I hope everyone enjoyed. Please tell me what you think. Do you think it's a slap in the face, or do you hate what I'm saying, which is the truth? Let me know. And watch me on Twitch TV/Technics channel. Hope everyone enjoyed. Hope you all like getting fucked by Hoyo and Genshin. Yippee!